Hey everyone. Okay, so as you all know, my name's Jordan, and as a lot of my friends know, I suffer from severe anxiety and severe PTSD due to some very serious trauma that has happened in my life. Um, a lot of it more recent than others. Um, Recently, a girl that I grew up with that I considered a sister, a foster sister, posted about how Donald Trump, of all things, triggers her PTSD because she was raped. She says that Donald Trump is a rapist and that the next 4 years is going to trigger her PTSD. Um, this is stupid. I have PTSD. Um, there are triggers, but Donald Trump, number one, is not a rapist. And number two, just because you don't like the fact that he's the president, Hannah, doesn't mean he's still not the president. And, you talk about how you were raped and how we stopped talking in 2010, but the fact of the matter is you were raped supposedly in 2009 by your stepbrother. Um, the thing here is that your husband was in prison and you contacted me over and over telling me how you liked the fact that your stepbrother was advancing on you because you missed having somebody to hold you and that he was nice to you. Um, I did, in fact, come down towards Belton, and I'm not sure the exact town, whether it was whatever something, rather, it was close to Belton. Um, I drove down there without Tegan. I also met your biological family. Um, and this was in 2009. This was my daughter was over a year old, and I was no longer with Randy. I was actually living back with my dad and working. Um, you didn't cry rape this whole time with me and telling me all these things until Daniel, you started, until it was close to, or you thought that your family was going to find out. And what would they think? That, oh my God, Hannah's sleeping with her stepbrother. That's disgusting. I don't care if he's your stepbrother or not, that's your brother. Um, I never said that I lived with you down in Belton, so you might want to change that in your blog. It's funny to me that you say that you only started therapy a month or so ago, um, but you're able to talk about this rape on on Facebook and everywhere openly for years now, Hannah, for years. And you say that we have stopped talking, but there are posts about my son being born, which was 2012. And you talk about on your blog about how my daughter was getting bullied at school and that I'm doing the same thing and bullying you. No, no. What I'm doing, Hannah, is I'm calling you out. I'm calling your bullshit. And I can guarantee you that every girl that lived with us at the home, including our foster mother, will tell you that you are manipulative. You will use the situation to make you look like the victim. And that's very sad, Hannah. That's part of the problem that you have with disorder, borderline personality disorder. It's funny that in your video you did mention you had bipolar, that um, that um, you have bipolar, that you have borderline personality disorder, that you're depressed, but you didn't mention the PTSD, sweetheart. And I think that's the biggest thing is that you fake what's wrong with you and you blow things up and make them dramatic. And this is all because you don't want your husband to find out that you slept with your brother and cheated on him. And that's okay. Hannah, that's okay. You know, and I know what really happened. Your mother can say all she wants. My dad doesn't remember you. And he's met you, and we know he's met you. Um, it's whatever, Hannah, really. And how dare you bring my child into this? I almost died with my son, Ryder. And you want to tell me that it's because of drugs? Sweetheart, I had a drug addiction. Yes, you are absolutely right. I will come out and I will tell everybody I had a drug addiction back in 2007, 2008. So don't start with me, sweetheart. I have been clean for many years. I have been getting help for many years with my PTSD. You claim that I got raped by a black person and that dreadlocks is my trigger. That's funny because just 2 years ago I had dreadlocks. I've never slept with a black guy. I've never been raped. I have had trauma happen. I have had abuse happen. I have had lots of things happen that have caused my PTSD. And there's no reason to bring my kids into anything, period. You know nothing about my sons. You know nothing about my daughter. Both my sons were healthy. The only problem that Ryder ever had being premature was a hole in his heart that is now fixed. Um, you. My son is premature because I had preeclampsia that was turning into eclampsia. I literally told them not to let me deliver until I had no choice. And I am lucky he was 5 weeks early. 5 to 6, almost 6 weeks early. He was healthy. He was a big boy. And we went home the next day from the hospital. Same as when I went home with Remington. I was in the hospital one day because they were healthy. And sweetheart, in the state of Texas, honey bunny, they drug test every baby. And they drug test the mothers the entire time they're pregnant. I have never popped up with drugs. I have had, unfortunately, people like you who say things like this, and Child Protective Services gets called. I have tested clean anytime they show up. I have never had my children removed, and the case is closed that day. This is a nasty thing for you to say anything about my children. You don't bring children into anything ever. And to say that I'm a drug addict is very funny. Anybody that knows me knows how much I hate drugs because you brought up Randy in the last video that you did. And let me tell you something. Randy has ruined my child's life with drugs. He is a known drug addict. He hasn't seen his daughter in almost 4 years, except for once or twice. I have been married, and I am happily married to Justin, who is the father of both my boys, and the father of my child, whether biological or not. Last night, because of the things that you're doing and the things that you're saying, it triggered something of my PTSD, something you know nothing about. That if you did, you wouldn't have said what you said and done what you did. And I have been getting help for my PTSD for a long time. I have been shoved through doctors and counselors that throw me pills and Xanax and say, here you go, you'll be fine. I have gone through many years of therapy, not only with myself, but with my wonderful, loving husband, Justin. I am very happy in my marriage. We are not without flaws. We do fight. We do get angry. But in the end of the day, he puts up with everything that I do, and he loves me, and I love him very, very dearly. I'm sorry that you're so unhappy with your life. And if you want to talk about how you're happy with your weight and your body, but didn't you just go get surgery so that you could get skinny again? If you're okay with yourself, then why did you do that? So what you're saying is you're twisting things, Hannah, and you're making them manipulative over and over and over. And I just, this is what you've had problems with. And I really, I feel for you. I feel like that you need some serious help. And I'm glad that you're getting counseling finally after many years because you've been this way for a long time. You lie when it's convenient. You blame others, and you twist things around to make them what they're not. And a lot of this, sweetheart, that's part of that borderline personality disorder and the bipolarness. Um, but you need to be honest. You really need to be honest with your counselor on what really happened. That way you can move on from this. So, I don't know what to tell you, Hannah, but I'm sorry that you can't come to the real conclusion that of what you told me and what really happened. Now, if you lied to me, then that's your own problem, sweetheart. Um, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say, Hannah.